Hey there, welcome. I am so ready to start setting up for the new year for 2023, and I am super excited to share with you what I will be using for my personal planner or bullet journal. This year I finished it in this sequence pocket size notebook. I did a previous video where I showed you my December setup. I'm still going through it, but I only set up for 2 weeks of December. I will do the last 2 weeks of December in here. That way I can, because, and I'm used to that. I'm used to starting a new planner on December. I know many people like to start exactly on January 1st, but not me. Like, I do like starting in December. It feels kind of like a buffer, a planning buffer for the new year. As I don't know, maybe it sounds weird for many, but that's what I like to do. But I did want to have as much of 2022, as much as possible of 2022 in here. So yeah, you know, the last 2 weeks of December are usually the holidays. There won't be much planning happening, but I think it's a good opportunity to test the weekly layout I want to use to see if that's what I want to be working with in January, or if I want to switch things up for January. And also, I mean, I already started my Hobonichi weeks for my new Hobonichi weeks. This one, it also starts in December, so I'm going to set up this new bullet journal. This is going to go from the last 2 weeks of December 2022, hopefully through June of 2023. I have 3 big events on the first half of 2023, one of them in January, the other one in March, and the other one in June, actually. And I like to be able to have my work notes and my project notes with my planner. That was the one inconvenience, I guess, of being in a pocket size. In order to have all of my notes in here, that will go through a lot of pages. It would not have lasted me 4 months. And yeah, like, I feel like I need more space. I like to do mind maps and brainstorming and sketches. So for the first half of 2023, I think the best option is something bigger, an A5. And I was actually missing the space to just play around. So I'm happy to try this A5 Stellogy. I have worked with the B6 and the A6. And I'm actually loving the grid size. It is 4 millimeters. I don't know why they changed the grid size. The B6 and the A5, they have bigger, boxes. They are 5 millimeters. I do care about the grid size. Many people probably don't. I do. And I prefer this kind of grid. It's actually the same grid size I was working with in this sequence, so that's perfect. Another thing I'm very excited about in this notebook is the color of the paper. When it comes to my planner, I prefer white paper rather than cream or ivory. Like Hobonichi works for me. This one is a little yellow to me, but I love Tomoe River paper, so I'm okay. But this tone of paper is just perfect. For this setup, I will be using a ruler, ballpoint pen, and fine liners. I like to work with the 005, 01, and 02, but that's personal preference. Work with what you have and what you like. In here, I will set up what those of you who do bullet journaling know as the future log, where I have the 12 months of the year with some space to write down below. This space, I will not use it necessarily for future planning. I wanted to keep a record. Last time I did whatever. For example, last time I did a purchase for a specific soap I like to buy on Costco, so I expect certain things to last a long time, and I like to keep track of how long certain products last, when was my last purchase. I also track things like when was my last haircut, my kid's last haircut, things like that. For this spread, and actually I think most of the spreads I'm going to have in this new bullet journal, I'm going to stick with black and white. And if you want to do this, you don't have to draw the monthly calendars or the lines. I did those because I think they look cute. I mean, I like seeing tiny calendars. And the lines also, you don't have to add them. It takes time, and if you want a very straightforward process, you can skip this part. I added the lines because also I like how they look, and that way I can create kind of a separate section underneath for notes in case I need it. For decoration, I'm only adding these kind of doodles in the form of leaves. I think it gives it like a very playful look, and they're super simple to make. Yes, I know I went a little overboard with the cover of the new year. I know these numbers are very intricate. You don't have to make them like this. If you want something simple and quick, you can just play with the sizes of your numbers for the cover of the new year 2023. Okay, these designs inside of the numbers, I think they're more of a suggestion because I have this vellum. I mean, look at that, it's gorgeous. And I'm thinking if I want to use this, the numbers underneath will have to be solid. So, I think I would like to have this, and yeah, I'm probably gonna make them solid, but before I do that, I'm going to do the designs that go outside of the numbers to see how it looks. And yeah, this is an experimental phase. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, as I mean I figure out how I want things to look as I work with them. So, okay, here are my numbers with the outline. And I really think that I want to make them more solid instead of doing this design, because I want to be able to see the numbers through these, because this is going to be the cover page for 2023. So I'm going to use a thicker micron. This is a 0.8. This is going to take a while, so let's see. this is how they look. And the idea, look at that, so much pretty. Now, you know, there were some lines in here that I covered. I think I would like to see how it looks if I bring some of them back, but with white, like so. I kind of like it. How does that look? Love it. And then this will go here. Okay, let's remove this. This is from Hobby Lobby, by the way. And from this vellum, I wanted to get this flower. I think it's the prettiest one. So this will go like this. I don't have clear tape, and I don't feel like going out just to buy one just for this vellum. So I think either of these could work. Well, will have to work. So there's this one, but I think it takes over the design, and that's not what I want. I want the vellum and the number underneath to be the focus. So that one is a no. This one could be. And this one, I kind of like that one. Yeah, the other one, I like it more. Let's try this one. This is the closest thing I have to a clear tape. It does get lost, but I like how this one looked. Besides this one, I use it a lot. I love it. It has like a gold grid, and it looks beautiful, you know, in doing setups in my planner. Just like a pop of color. This one is one of my favorite ones, as plain as it is. Okay, so we'll go with this one. At this point, judging by my different sleeves, you probably figured out that I did this over several different days. I record or shoot video when I have the time, when the home is semi-quiet or as close to quiet as possible. So this process did take several days, but through the magic of video editing, here is seamless, like I did it in one sitting. That doesn't happen. I like to brainstorm, go little by little, take my time, see if I like something, if maybe something I sketched doesn't really work anymore for me. I like to take it slow with this process, enjoy it. I don't want it ever to feel like something I have or must do, and I don't want it to feel like something like stressful. Otherwise, this would not work for me. I decided to start my monthly calendars in December, Hobonichi style, and also, because I'm starting this bullet journal in December, it made sense to begin my monthly calendars with December. I like having all my months stacked in the front, but that doesn't mean I will draw them all at once. I will sketch them and draw them as the month approaches. At this point, I think I had set up December and January. I haven't done February. And for the planning portion, I decided to go with a very straightforward Ryder Carroll bullet journal method, having my tasks and events in a list form on the left side. I think that's the most functional. It's what I have been using in my pocket bullet journal, and I'm not changing that. The calendar on the right side is because it looks cool. You don't have to do it. And I guess I will have birthdays in this tiny calendar, not necessarily for planning. For the decoration elements in this spread, I decided to go with Noche Buenas. Those red flowers that grow in the winter. If you have ever visited Mexico City or any big city in Mexico, you see them everywhere during the winter. I love these flowers. And I decided to add a pop of color with watercolor. First, I add kind of like a stain of color in the darkest areas, and I let it sit for a little while. Then I spread a little bit of the color with a wet brush. For my weeklies, I decided to go with a very simple design, just a box to write down some tasks or maybe events. I'm actually experimenting with this weekly layout, and I'm going to figure out as the month goes by how I want to use this spread, if I need a weekly spread. I usually like to have kind of like a weekly dashboard, or I guess a week at a glance, but I had this design in my I have a notebook with spread ideas, and I have been wanting to use this spread for a while. So I will update you on how I'm going to use my weeklies, or what I'm going to do for my weeklies. For the cover of December, because is the buffer month, the bonus month I have in here, I didn't feel like going like all out with the cover of December. Also because I have my monthly calendars, which is kind of like a monthly cover. So I decided to go with this tiny printable. I will link this Etsy shop on the description below. Using a printable, I think it's the best option if going all artsy-fartsy is not your thing. It saves you time, it's very quickly, and you can find beautiful designs. Here I'm going through what I have. I added this scrapbook paper in the cover because this is where I want to have my vision board. I'm checking if I want to add details, but everything looks good. I love how this vellum looks in here, how the numbers peek through the design of the vellum paper. Here is my monthly spread for December. It will be followed by January, February, and all of at least half of the year. I think I left enough pages for half of the year. And then I jump into my weeklies and then the dailies. I'm going to separate each section of weeklies and dailies with a kind of cover for the month. That's why I use the printable for December. And you can see underneath a sneak peek of what I'm going to have as the cover of January. So I hope this setup video was useful for you. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.